so many people in this room who talk about how important life is and taking care of each other and making sure that we protect life at all costs. We are all human here. So when I hear from the other side that we are thinking this way or that way, you are absolutely wrong. What we are people who care about other people. This is the United States of America. All of us are immigrants here. So don't you forget that. It's not a simple issue. We care about the people of Arizona, and this is most definitely not just a reporting procedure. There are no safeguards against profiling. The bill lacks protection to prevent racial profiling, increasing the likelihood that individuals will be targeted based on appearance or ethnicity rather than their actual criminal behavior. Earlier when I was speaking, what I was trying to get at, and I probably did not use my words correctly, is that what this does, what this allows, is people to just go into a store, and if someone just thinks that they want them gone, because by looking at them and suspecting something, then they can accuse them of shoplifting. And then they go through this process, and that is unacceptable. It is pure racial profiling, and this country is not the country for doing so. I understand that the person who got into office is who you voted for, but there are plenty of us out here who did not vote for him and will continue to be a voice for the community that did not vote for that man. I vote no. In response to the three representatives who shared their passion for inviting God into their lives, I'm fairly certain that that is what church is for, and you are allowed to go to church and do that. No one is saying that you may not go and celebrate your God however you see fit. But this is not the place in public education where our students go to learn math, reading, and writing. In history, religion is not the place for schools. This bill would authorize untrained and uncertain chaplains to engage in the same duties as a school counselor or school psychologist. Students should receive support from certified specialists, not an unqualified chaplain. Where would this stop? Where does this stop? We're bringing chaplains in here, but why don't we bring rabbis in? Why don't we bring in atheists to speak with our children? Should that be what they want? The answer is no, because this is public education. If you want that, you choose a private school for that and for your child. So courts have repeatedly ruled that this is unconstitutional for public schools to invite religious leaders to engage in religious activities with students and to promote religious indoctrination of students. And it violates the First Amendment Establishment Clause by giving preferential treatment to people of faith over those who do not have one. I proudly vote no. So I am here. It's because I was elected for this seat by my voters and my community. And what I heard when I knocked doors is that we need solutions, real solutions. And I'm just sitting here being really patient, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the bill that addresses Arizona's housing shortages. And I'm sitting here waiting for the bill that addresses funding for our DDD families. And I'm sitting here waiting.
Point of order. Point of order has been called. Representative Shapley.
Mr. Chairman, this is not germane to the bill. She's talking about completely different topics, please.
What rule?
What rule?
Rule 19.
Thank you. Rule 19. Representative Simacek, we're speaking to this gun bill right now. Can we keep it germane to the gun bill?
Yes, I was just sharing what I represent when I sit here and I make a vote on this gun bill. And with that, I vote no. I wanted to share a little story today about my experience serving on a nonpartisan seat for the Deer Valley Unified School District. When I ran in 22, I will agree that politics have been brought in. It's extremely unfortunate. But when the results came in for that election, and I had won one of the seats, and a gentleman had won another seat, and we both were different in our thoughts and beliefs, so put it that way.
And the first thing that I decided to do was I wanted to do a shoe drive for our Title I schools. So I started setting that up, and he approached me and said, "Hey, can I do this with you?" And I said, "Sure, yeah, sure." And we went through this program. We gathered 400 pairs of shoes for our Title I schools. We drove around together, worked together, had wonderful conversation. And we have continued over the last 2.5 years to work together in a nonpartisan way. We find the 90% that we have in common, which usually has to do with taking care of our students and our teachers, allows us to work together in a wonderful way. And we come from two different sides of the aisle, but we put that aside. And I fear that if we start putting D's and R's or L's or I's next to our names for school board members, then we really put that wall up between each other. We didn't have a wall, and we've continued to not have a wall. So from an experience that I have had, I do think that it is possible. You know, we talked about working together here. It was brought up about working together here in this house, nonpartisan ways. That is not what I have seen here. I would love the opportunity to work on a bill with someone from the other side and actually work together on something that would help with healthcare, housing, funding public education. Excuse me.
Members, please take your conversations off the floor. Please continue.
When I knock doors and someone opens the door and they ask me if I'm a Republican or Democrat when I was running for school board, I said it's a nonpartisan position. And you know what that allowed? It allowed for a lot of really good conversations. Because they saw me as me, I saw them as them. And we had conversations together about the things that were important, about funding our schools, about paying our teachers livable wages. So I ask you to stop with this division that we already have going on here and not bring this to the school boards. Thank you.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing today is that parents don't want to take on this responsibility and liability when it doesn't fit their agenda or their beliefs. A minor cannot get health services, including gender affirming care, without parental consent. So as stated earlier, why would the state hold doctors responsible for a parent's decision? The last individual that we heard testify shared they were over 18 when they decided to go through this change. And so I'm very confused by the statements that have been made up here today talking about children when the testifier we heard from was 18 at the time, making them an adult. And in response to another comment was made, we rarely see the outcome of what was shared today because it's so incredibly rare. This bill is not about patient safety, but rather reflects stereotypes and outdated and out-of-touch beliefs about our trans community and the decision to undergo surgery. It's also an attempt to bully and intimidate those who perform such surgeries. No one tricks folks into gender confirmation surgery. And as said before, very, very few ever come to regret their decision. This bill will have a chilling effect on medical professionals' willingness to offer gender-affirming care for minors, and it will do harm to our LGBTQ population. So with that, I proudly vote no.